and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. My name is JT and you're watching Black Box Trading. Today's video, we got some nice price action to talk about. We have an actual breakout, the beginning of a breakout, I believe, taking place on Bitcoin. So we'll get into that. Also, speculation out there, growing speculation that the price of Bitcoin is suppressed. We will take a look at that as well. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think the price of Bitcoin is being suppressed? I'll give you my thoughts on that. And then the SEC is also developing a task force to kind of try and remove a lot of the corruption and insider trading that is running rampant inside of the crypto market. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. So we got here on the 4 hour, but let's go to a higher time frame first. Let's take a look at the weekly. So beautiful rebound candle here on the weekly. This is a phenomenal candle. I don't like the way this chart renders. This is the index chart. For whatever reason, if you're looking at, I highly recommend that you focus on the Bitcoin index chart for your analysis. But for whatever reason, the weekly, it just renders weird. So I'm just going to go to a different chart. I'm going to go to the Coinbase chart. That's better. The candles are just, they line up properly. Sometimes you get a red candle, even though it's at a higher price. Anyways, I digress. Beautiful candle. Beautiful candle. This is what you want to see. You know, we can really make this quite simple. What are we looking at here, ladies and gentlemen? We are looking at a continuation of the uptrend. We had a break here, breakout here, and continuation of a trend. Breakout here, continuation of a trend. Breakout here, continuation of a trend. And it's looking like we're developing a bull flag. So, you know, these markets are dicey. They will test your patience. They will test your emotions. But when you zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out. Take a look at how clean this picture is. Honestly, it's beautiful. There was some precautionary measures that we were needing to take on price action, and we warned you exactly what to look for. And we also said, do not front run any bearish ideas, because the market was very bearish. When the market is very bearish, we're very close to a pump. We're seeing that pump today. We're seeing that recovery today as a result of the market being very bearish. I know it's counterintuitive, but when the dominant narrative is people being bearish, it means that everybody's out of position. If everybody's out of position, then we can't go down any further. It's counterintuitive. Try and, you know, wrap your head around it. This is just the way that it goes in markets sometimes. And we were saying, you know, we were in the private group saying, take a look at Bitcoin. We're looking at this Adam and Eve pattern. So we did an update back on the 15th. Yeah, it's the 21st today. We did an update on the 15th talking about this Adam and Eve pattern that was forming. We said that, you know, what you're looking for is that V-shaped recovery and that rounded bottom. That's exactly what we're looking at here with Bitcoin on the lower time frames. Let's go over to the 4 hour. Let's turn the candles back on. And that's what we've been watching. That's what we've been watching. And we had this little dip here. A lot of people get afraid when Bitcoin tests support levels. If you're new, I get it. You know, I was there too. I used to be afraid of that as well. But it's the only way to shake up the order book. So you shouldn't fear it. It's called a test for a reason, because the market, the price is testing the available demand. So when it comes down to a support level, it's testing the available demand. If it holds support, that means demand is present. The bulls are here. The order book readjusts and new orders come in, new limit, new bids, new asks, and you remove the stagnation. So step one here, we had that little dip. What we need to do now is show a higher high, higher low structure, completing the rounding bottom here. Let me kind of illustrate this a little bit better. And Adam and Eve is characterized by a V-shaped bounce and then a rounded bottom, right? So what we're looking for to complete this rounded bottom is kind of a higher high, higher low structure to bring us up to the neckline, also kind of the breakout area here, for us to, in my opinion, head to new all-time highs. If we see a higher high, higher low structure developing on the 4 hour, moving us up past the 100K psychological level, in my opinion, we are going to at least go for another all-time high, with my bias leaning towards breaking the all-time high. So yeah, it's looking good in the markets out there. Let's see who's in the chat. Mexi is joining us. Welcome in. Samoon, thoughts on Litecoin? Looks primed. We'll take a look. Hi from Thailand. That's no man Landinus. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Litecoin looks nice. Yeah, looks awesome. Litecoin BTC even bottomed. Yeah, we can take a look at Litecoin for sure. Litecoin is I'm hearing more and more about Litecoin, so it must be doing something, because people are usually quiet about these dinosaur projects until they start making some moves, and I keep hearing about Litecoin, so it's probably got a nice chart that we will take a look at. But before we do that, what we need to take a look at by the way, if you guys aren't in the group, I know most of the people watching this live stream, you're already in the group. But if for whatever reason you're not in the group, go ahead and click the QR code here popping up on the screen. That's going to bring you into our private Discord. Yes, it is private. Yes, there is a verification process, but it comes at no cost to you. We give everything away for free. All that you have to do is sign up with one of our partner exchanges. If you go to our website, blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro, you can find all of our partner links. You can sign up for the free Bitcoin trading bot. And as a result of signing up with one of our partner exchanges, no deposit required, you will have the UID, which is necessary to get into the private group. One of the best deals in crypto, comes at no risk to you. We hope to see you in. So what we need, we took out the 200 EMA here. The EMA has been a rejection point for us for quite some time now. We got rejected here. Let's actually highlight it here. We got a rejection here at the 200 EMA. We got a rejection here. We got a rejection here. We got a resistance here, and boom, immediately had a beautiful move out above that rejection. So, or above that moving average. What I would like to see is us come right back down and test. That's going to initiate one of our bot trades that we've been waiting for a couple weeks now. The bot's been staying out of this chop, which is good. But yeah, if we come back down and test that 200 EMA, we'll probably be entering into a bot trade. And then that will be kind of the beginning of that uptrend that we're looking for in the market. So hopefully that's what we see, that rotation from, or that transition from bearish to bullish. So sentiment, sentiment is such an overlooked metric in this market. If you aren't making trading decisions based off of the sentiment based off of the sentiment that you see on Twitter and YouTube and everywhere else, employ that strategy, because when everybody is bearish, you should be bullish. Be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. And that is a very old saying. It is a very true saying. And some of the best moves happen when the market is really afraid. Obviously, have a plan. You have to have a plan. No matter, you need to know what you're going to do if we trade sideways. You need to know what you're going to do if we move down. You need to know what you're going to do if we move up. You have to have a plan for all three directions. Don't use TA as an excuse to get you into a position and get anchored onto an outcome. TA is just a way for us to manage our positions. So if you don't know anything about trading crypto, if you're brand new to this market, I highly encourage you to go and check out the group. Like I said, it's free, and we're more than willing to help you develop a trading strategy that can effectively make you money in this market. So that is Bitcoin. We didn't really take a look at the daily, but daily is beautiful. I mean, beautiful daily close, the highest daily close we've had since over 2 weeks, 17 days. Beautiful to see. Nice little rounded double bottom here, little W formation, 1, 2. That's what you want to see. It's looking good. If we take a look at alpha numerics, let's see how we're doing on top of the moving averages. Alpha numerics, where we've reclaimed the 7. We do need to get above the 30 and the 50. So the 30 and the 50 are currently sitting at that psychological level that is going to be resistance for us. That $100,000 level is going to provide resistance. But if we are able to get above that $100,000 resistance, it's probably, like I said, it's going to go for another move to the upside. We have so many W's in this formation, which is bullish. A W is telling you that bulls are showing up. We have a W here. We have a W here, and it's all part of a bigger W as well. So I think that any break above, any daily candle close above $106,000 is going to be a pretty strong signal to the market that we are ready to break out of this range and reprice to the next level, which in my opinion is going to be above 125,000, probably $130,000 per coin. Love your vibes, by the way. Something cozy about them. Interesting. I feel like I'm yelling at you. some random dude in a polo on the internet yelling crypto hype is cozy. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, we're going to take a look at Litecoin because we got a bunch of people wanting to take a look at what's going on with Litecoin. But before we do that, we have to look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is still in the green. We are still hovering up against this area at around 60%. We have been saying a rotation into alts has not taken place. That doesn't mean that alts don't go up. Okay, I want to make this very clear. It doesn't mean that alts don't go up. It just means that we're not in altcoin season. It means we're in popcorn season. Popcorn season stuff goes off, but it's totally random and it's very, very difficult for you to be able to pick the winners. Altcoin season, not difficult to pick the winners. Basically, put on a blindfold, throw a dart at a board with some of your favorite projects. Wherever the dart lands, that project will moon. That is altcoin season. That will happen when this reverses, when we see a breakdown in altcoin, in Bitcoin dominance, specifically below this level, getting out of this rising, broadening wedge below 56%, probably even 55% would be even better. When we cross that line, when we start closing weekly candles below that line, you better believe that altcoin season is going to begin, and it is going to be a very exciting 2 to 3 months in the market. Altcoin season is very short. It's very exciting, but it's very short. So you need to have a clear head. You need to have a plan. You need to know what you're going to be exposed to, and you need to know how you are going to manage those positions because you don't have a lot of time, and it's going to be a very euphoric time in the market. So please come up with a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to know what you're going to do. You have to know what you're going to sell into and at what levels. Don't become complacent. Don't become greedy in this market. Have a plan. All right, let's take a look at Litecoin. We're going to start things off where you always should start, which is on the Bitcoin comparative. Me personally, I don't care about the dollar pair. If all that I'm trying to do in this market is I'm trying to maximize my gains, following the Bitcoin dominance chart and the chart going up for the entire 2 years that this bear market or bull market has been going on for, the best, safest move was to have a heavy allocation into Bitcoin, where you know that the price appreciation is going to be there, where you know that you don't need to guess and diversify. That's the problem with diversification. You know, altcoins, you can make more money, but if you have to diversify into 10 to 20 different altcoins and only one of them performs, you were actually better off taking less gains and holding and taking all of that diversification and putting it into Bitcoin. So with this rotation taking place in Bitcoin, we can start to see the signs that potentially altcoin season is coming. I'm happy to be late because I'm already exposed to crypto through Bitcoin. This is, I mean, it's, you know, when you zoom out, it's a really ugly chart. You know, not to say that we can't rally from here, but my God, is Litecoin proving itself to not be a long-term investment when compared to Bitcoin. So let's not get too granular in the nitty gritty here, and let's just kind of zoom in here. There are some pretty important levels for me to take into consideration. This level right here is kind of important to make note of. And this is kind of the thing that trips people up with altcoins is they're trying to get in too early. You know, if you want to take a probe position in Litecoin because you think that we are definitely rotating into altcoin season, go ahead. Just make sure that your risk is adjusted for the. It's just a very risky play to take. So make sure that your position size is small enough that you're not going to forget to pay attention to altcoin, or you're not going to forget to pay attention to Litecoin, but it's not big enough that in the event that Bitcoin continues its upwards trajectory and dominance, you're not going to lose too much of that. Me personally, I would much rather pay for confirmation. I would much rather hold Bitcoin a little bit longer, wait for that rotation to become clear, wait for a trend to develop on the Bitcoin pair of the asset that I'm looking to buy. And once I see that rotation is definitely taking place, then I will become a participant. So as it stands right now, yes, you're seeing some beautiful, green candles. You got a 20% on the day yesterday, currently sitting at 6.5% today. So, and that's on top of Bitcoin, right? So that's nothing terrible, but at the same time, we've got some pretty serious overhead resistance. And I think by overcoming these resistances and developing an uptrend, I would be far more comfortable becoming a participant once this uptrend is defined. So as it stands right now, if you've been holding Litecoin for a very long time, it's still kind of in the recovery phase against Bitcoin. Once it passes that recovery phase, let's say the lows came in 2022. So let's say this was the bear market low. So for us to come to break even from the new lows here, Litecoin needs to rally from the bear market lows up to from the current lows to the bear market low. You have 120% of rally from the price that we are at right now. Litecoin only needs to go, come on. Litecoin only needs to go up another 30% to reach the price of the bear market low compared to Bitcoin. But like I said, I like to pay for confirmation. I like to make damn sure that when I buy an altcoin, I'm not waiting around and I'm not holding on to dips. I'm not watching the price in sats go down. When I buy an altcoin, it is in up only. It's in that very short period of time of altcoin season that's like 3 to 4 months long. The alt doesn't go down. It's up only. So I need to see it get at least above 250,000 sats per Litecoin for me to become a participant. But this is an uptrend. When you zoom in here, we got a low, we got a high, we got a higher low, we got a higher high. So there is the beginning of an uptrend taking place. It's not for me right now, but certainly something to take a look at. Sonic has had a nice pump. Not interested in memes at the moment. I think the market needs a lot more repair of sentiment. So right now the sentiment is incredibly low. So Bitcoin needs to go up in price to bring confidence back into the market. That's going to allow for some of the layer one projects to gain confidence, and people will, we'll see Solana start to rally and stuff like that. And then that's going to give permission for degeneracy, and you're going to see the meme coins do their thing all over again. Would love to see Litecoin pump and bring it back from the dead. Excuse me. I got a little bit of a tickle in my throat today. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. As we've mentioned, I think around, from that period of time where ordinals were really taking off, and we saw the UTXO bloat and we saw the fee market get really, really crazy. One of the narratives that came along with that is Bitcoin can't scale, right? So any of these Bitcoin competitors, you're going to have that narrative resurface. Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, even BSV, Monero, any of these blockchains that are trying to be a currency where the settlement layer is fast and cheap, you're going to see a lot of that narrative begin to take place again. So Litecoin falls under that category. If we see Bitcoin coming up in price, you're going to see the mempool get backed up. You're going to see ordinals come back. When ordinals come back, you're going to see the fee market get, jacked right up to $20 per transaction again. So, with the $20 transaction narrative comes the whole speculation of, oh, maybe Bitcoin can't scale, and we need to get into some of these other projects. So watch out for that, because that's definitely priming up. Pulse die to $1. This will be a big story. We will see it at some point in this year. UFO nut. So there's a very important thing that needs to happen for the entire Pulse chain ecosystem, and it's, in my opinion, a huge fumble of Richard Hart, and it's almost nefarious what he did, because he didn't create a bridge. Without a bridge, you have no arbitrage. With no arbitrage, an asset that is supposed to be stable is no longer stable. If there is no way for an arbitrage trader to buy P-DAI and bring it over to Ethereum and balance out the price, if that opportunity doesn't exist, then P-DAI actually isn't DAI. So the number one thing that you need to be looking out for, and if this happens, your position here of P-DAI going to $1 becomes a lot more realistic, but you need a bridge. There has to be a bridge. There has to be a bridge to all of these liquidity pools for these stable coins. Without a bridge, there's no arbitrage opportunity. Without an arbitrage opportunity, you cannot correct the price. So that's a dangerous play to be messing around with. But if it turns out in your favor, that could be a pretty spectacular move. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been paying attention to Hex. I haven't been paying attention too much to Pulse Chain. But, if these shortcomings of that network are corrected, you could absolutely see something like that take place. BSV, haven't heard anyone mention BSV in ages. Yeah, it kind of lost a lot of momentum when the scam was proven in court. I mean, I don't really care. I don't need a court to tell me that he's not Satoshi. But anyways, it did lose a lot of steam after that. Yeah. What's another one that we've been paying attention to here? Let's Ondo, I think, was doing pretty okay. Actually, let's go back to Litecoin for a sec. But this time we're going to take a look at Litecoin USD. And this is a Wyckoff accumulation right here. Very, very clear Wyckoff accumulation. Let's label it. So on the fiat pair, which is not the pair that you should start your analysis on, like I've said numerous times on this channel, you're looking at a pretty textbook accumulation range. This is, that's a nice accumulation range. Really, really nice. And where are we? We're at the acceleration. Again, I need to see more on the Bitcoin pair. But as far as fiat is concerned, this is a pretty clean setup. So who knows? You've had your sign of strength. It broke out to the upside. We're in our backup LPS right now. It's right up at the point at where it would accelerate. If we take a look at some of the resistance from historical cycles, you're right at that support, that really macro support / resistance flip for Litecoin here. If it can break out of that resistance and get back above $150, I think Litecoin's going to go. I think it's going to start that uptrend, which will create that clearly defined uptrend on the Bitcoin pair, which is where, the Bitcoin whales, you got to think about the whales. What are the whales doing? The whales are waiting for them to make more Bitcoin. So until the Bitcoin chart starts showing up nice and consistent, you're not going to see a lot of the follow through. You will see follow through from retail. That's what got us this far. But as soon as the Bitcoin whales start to see, okay, Litecoin's starting to stack some sats here, Litecoin is starting to trend against Bitcoin, that's when the real money comes in. That's when the true demand comes in. So we're close. This is a clean chart. This is a clean chart. really clean. One of the cleaner charts out there. Beautiful, beautiful setup there on Litecoin. Love his non-BS hopium analysis. I try to you listen to me long enough about Bitcoin, you'll definitely think that I'm talking a lot of hopium. But yeah, I listen, it's not even my opinion. This is just my take on the market. This is how I look. Like, the candles are truth. I don't pay attention to news. I don't pay attention to headlines. I don't pay attention to narratives because I don't need to. It shows up in the chart. Litecoin, I guarantee if you go into the Litecoin community, they have a reason as to why this is happening. I don't need the reason. I don't need to follow the stories. I don't need to follow the influencer that's having an effect on what's going on with the price of Litecoin. I don't need any of that because this is the factual reality. When we get above this point, it's gonna rally. And I don't need to know the reason why it rallies. I just need to know that it's rallying. And you can do hours and hours of research. You can do hours and hours of research, researching all these coins on the fundamentals as to why they move. Or you can take 10 seconds when you learn how to read a chart. So, you can just go and, okay, we got Ever here. Okay, Ever looks like it could take another step down. It's probably got bearish news. We'll take a look at Ordi. Ordi's done jack shit. There's certainly no demand in the ordinal space. Same sort of story on fractal Bitcoin. XRP definitely looking like it's taking a backup phase here. Could begin to rally. It certainly has something happening in the background. I'm sure there's some bullish narratives that are taking place. Oh, would you look at that? The SEC lawsuit is supposed to happen, be finalized today. So there's the bullish news happening in the chart right there. Caspa taking a step down. It needs to have some sort of accumulation. There's not a lot of follow through in the Caspa. So I would assume that the sentiment and the narrative is bearish. When we take a look at TAP, bearish. We don't need to go and look for the news articles. We don't need to go and look at why. We just know that it's bearish. We're not looking to add to positions. SUI looks good. I like this. We have a breakout past a support/resistance flip, came down for a retest and are trending back towards the area. So you're going to start to see bullish news and a bullish narrative develop for SUI. You see how quick this is? You don't need news. News does absolutely nothing for your trading. Nothing. It does nothing for your trading. Just learn how to read the charts. We are more than happy to teach you how to consolidate literally hours. People spend all day, all night researching, a basket of 10 coins. And I can outperform their research in 30 seconds. So learning how to, remove bias. The candles don't lie. When they're red, they're red. When they're green, they're green. Simple as that. So learning how to read the TA is really, really important. Doesn't tell you the future, just tells you what is happening right now, what has happened, and what's likely to be a continuation of a trend. That's it. But when you learn it, it's very powerful. Sorry, I'm late, bro. What's up? Just talking altcoins, brah. Currently, the reason is ETF hype. FYI. Interesting. So ETF hype, yeah. One of the interesting things that that's kind of a nice little segue, not the ETF hype, but me talking about the news is in the charts. Samson Mao, everybody's talking about speculation on price suppression. I don't really fall under this category of thinking that we do price suppression personally. I just think that the price is always correct. The price is always correct. It's very hard now to have a significant influence on Bitcoin. Listen, Bitcoin's not a small asset anymore. It's the 7th largest asset in the world. It has a transparent ledger. It has a transparent, you have on-chain transactions, on-chain activity. You know who's holding what where. I find it, out of all the assets that are on Earth right now, it's one of the hardest ones to, point a finger and say suppression. I think OGs are taking profits, man. We hit 100K. We hit $100,000. If you're an OG that was buying Bitcoin at $100 and now it's at $100,000, you're taking profits. You're taking profits. It's a big, big psychological level. For those that were around during the 2017 cycle, we did the same thing at 10 grand. These big evens, right? All of these big evens. It didn't do it at 20. It did it at 10. And it did it at 100. It did it at it did it at $100. It did it at $1,000. It did it at $10,000, and now it's doing it at $100,000. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. These are big psychological numbers, but when you zoom out, it's still a bullish chart. It's still a bullish chart. And when this resolves, everybody that would have sold has sold. The OGs are happy. They sold their position. They bought their houses. They paid off their mortgages. They did this. They did that. Whatever. That supply is being removed. It's being given to the new participants. And we're off to the races because those new participants have much higher targets in mind before they become liquidity. So ETF hype, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. There's always a reason. I don't need to know the reason personally, but yeah, whatever it is, I'm all for it. I'm here for it, baby. Thoughts on Jasmy? We can take a look at the technicals. I have no thoughts on the fundamentals of Jasmy. Ooh, technicals aren't. Oh, sorry, I'm too zoomed in here. Let's go. I'm spending a lot of time on the weekly because we've been in a consolidation for so long. Spending a lot of time on some high time frames. This is not an ideal chart for me. This, more than anything, is just the volatility of trying to hold on to this thing. If you know something from a fundamentals perspective that you think is going to result in Jasmy having a higher price in the next, 6 months or so, 3 to 6 months, then take a position. Just take a small position because the volatility here is absolutely insane, and it's not good volatility. It's choppy, right? Like we had a big move up 100%. Then we had a big, 60% correction. Then we had another, 200% up. And then you give it all right back with a 60% correction. I'm not saying it's not something worth buying. Just don't try to trade it. Don't try and trade it. The trade is I'm going to buy at some random price and I'm going to hold for X amount of time. And I'm not going to have a stop loss. So that means my risk is the stop loss. However much that you would be willing to lose on a stop loss is the entire position size for something like Jasmy, which greatly reduces the amount of risk that you're holding. And then you can be a participant and you can say, hey, I did a 10X on Jasmy, but don't use leverage. Do not use leverage on something like that. Do not even have a stop loss. So if you don't have a stop loss, position size needs to be tiny. And that's how I would handle something like this, because it's a wild ride to try and hold on to. I can't give you a heads or tails as to whether this is going to go up or down. Ohm is probably the nicest alt chart. Didn't it just blow up though? Didn't it just go up only? I know. So cool. If you got it, great, fantastic. But there's absolutely no way that I would buy this because there's no way for me to buy it. I can't use there's no strategy that I can put in place that would justify me buying up at these levels. So, there's 10 million coins out there, guys. You got to say congratulations to those who did well in Ohm. So if you hold Ohm, heartfelt congratulations, dude. Beautiful, beautiful trade. If you were in Ohm down here at 20 cents, amazing. If you were in Ohm before the breakout at $1.50, amazing. Congratulate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back because that's sensational. But as far as new positions, I can't touch it. I can't touch it. It's just the unfortunate reality. You can't be a participant in all of them. But yeah, what an outlier. This is what I'm talking about. Popcorn season. Popcorn season means random shit. It's just popping over here, then it's popping over there, and then this is going, then that's going, and then this is a rug, and that's a liquidity scam. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. When true altcoin season hits, you'll be seeing this in every coin. You'll be seeing this in every coin. So don't go chasing this kind of stuff. That's my opinion. But if you got it and you're in it, boom, congratulations. Check out Native on Base, very early, great idea where AI agents and humans will interact and transact, sort of like SimCity. A lot of buzzwords there. If we get some gaming's coming back. Interesting. Litecoin chart, por favor. We already took a look there, Brandon. You're going to have to hit the rewind button. What else can we take a look at? So let's go to the fundamental side here for just a moment. Let's take a look at the S&P. S&P 500 at all-time highs. All-time highs. This is good. This is bullish. This is what we want to see. This is showing that we can go back to risk on. With the market at risk on assets go. So Bitcoin will go, and then altcoins will go, and this is trending in the right direction. Same thing here on NASDAQ, brand new all-time highs. This was lagging behind the S&P. Now it's basically at the same place. We have brand new all-time highs. So looking really, really good. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, all-time highs. All-time highs in gold. Spectacular, spectacular. Silver kind of waking up as well. I haven't taken a look at silver in years, but it's coming off a floor. It's coming off a floor. It's certainly not doing as well as gold. Silver is definitely lagging gold, but gold is dragging that silver up. So it's looking good as well. It's very interesting to see risk off assets like silver and gold. These are kind of traditionally fear hedges in the market going up alongside risk on, which is the S&P and the NASDAQ. So is this the everything bubble? I don't know. Is this the everything bubble? It seems like everything's going up. It seems like we could be entering a position, a time in the market where things get incredibly easy. Be fearful when others are greedy. Okay, have a plan. What are you going to do? What do you need to see? What levels are going to be good enough? That's a topic for another video. That's a topic for another live stream. ETH. For me, not worth it. Not worth it to buy. Let's go to ETH BTC, my favorite chart. My favorite chart to dunk on. My favorite chart to shit on. We're below our multi-year target of 3 million sats. We're currently at 2.7 million sats per ETH. If you've been a long time viewer of the channel, I've been talking about this for years. This chart has been exactly the same for years. This figure has been here. This diagram has been here. We've been calling the distribution. We've been calling 3 million sats. We were called an idiot. We were laughed at. Not only did we hit our target of 3 million sats, we're below it. So what I need to see for ETH, and to be perfectly clear, I'm not going to buy ETH. I'm just not. I think the fastest horse in the race of layer one smart contracts this cycle is Solana. I'm going to keep it simple and just buy Solana. That's me. I don't think diversification is a good thing. I think diversification is a bad thing. So where is all the smart contract activity going? Solana. So me, I'll buy Solana. Doesn't mean you can't make money in ETH. It's just you're not going to see me buying ETH. And again, your views might be different. Your strategy might be different. You're totally entitled to your strategy. Nobody is right until all the cards are on the table and we know where we landed when the beginning of the bear market happens, right? So take this with a grain of salt. If I was to buy ETH, what I would be looking for is we need to see some sort of a double bottom here. So right now it's very consistently down only. Very consistently down only. So we need to see that kind of W formation. We need to see something that where we come up and we retest. You can see multiple times here, right? Like we came down, we rallied off, and then when it came down to test, we failed the test, right? Hit a new level, right? Then we rallied off, came back down to test, failed to hold the test. We need to have a successful test. We have not had a successful test the whole ride down. Not a single support level held. Not a single one, okay? So we just need one. That's all we need. We just need one successful support hold. Once we hold that one support, which will probably be on our long-term support range of 3 million sats per ETH. Let's draw it out. We'll probably come up here and we will get a successful test. Once we get a successful test, that's going to bring us up to the downward sloping line of resistance. This will be a bump and run formation. A bump and run is when you have multiple touch points against a downward sloping line of resistance. You get a capitulation, you get a small accumulation, you break out, and boom, we're off to the races, and it's fucking bull market time, and it's let's go. Until that happens, you're running a real risk. You got to let the accumulation take place. You got to see the breakout. You got to see the break. This is the best buy right here. For the bump and run pattern, the bump and run formation, when you break that downward sloping line of resistance, boom, we transition into up only. So I'm not interested in becoming a participant just yet. I'm going to be placing my cards on Solana. We have different setups that we can take a look at on Solana. But if you are an ETH bull and you're looking for that ETH signal, that's what you're looking for. If you want to be reminded as to when this signal comes in, get into the Discord, because we will be letting you know when ETH is coming in. We share all the altcoin alpha. If you go over here into the Discord under altcoins, we talk about Ethereum. We've been talking about it for years, and yeah, we'll let you know. You will be pinged, and you will get information on when we believe that it will be a time to be a bull on ETH. But until then, we just got to wait. Can you take a look at FTM? Yeah, we can take a look at that. I also want to circle back to viral AGI and take a look at native, I guess. We'll take a look at that on CoinMarketCap. That comment could be a bot, so we won't give it too much time. But let's take a look at native. But real quick, SEC Cyber Unit closes chapter on agency's crypto enforcement emphasis. The SEC's Republican leader has shifted to what's been a crypto-focused enforcement squad into a smaller group with broader responsibilities. Things are loosening. Now, we're already seeing what a loosened regulatory market can do. Trump coin, Melania coin. Is it a good thing? We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, loosening of the SEC has certainly made crypto easy. The regulatory clarity is there. The clarity is proceed to scam. You can scam people now. It's all good. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at native. Me. It's up. Native.fun. Oh, great. Another .fun website. You know what? Let's not load this page. What are we looking at? Coin 1700. Market cap 11 million. It's a little too shit coiny for this part of the market cycle, in my opinion. Little too shit coiny. So wait would be my recommendation. Wait for there to be a rotation into this shitcoin ecosystem. It's also on base. We'll see what happens. Maybe, the first run, ordinal Bitcoin went first, so ordinals will kind of get a recovery. And then we saw base take over, and then from base it went into Solana. So maybe we see a similar rotation where we go to Bitcoin shitcoins, then we go to Solana base shitcoins, then we go into Solana shitcoins. We'll have to see. But yeah. FTM BTC is where we start always. Phantom Bitcoin. So sitting down at the lows, did it get delisted on Poloniex? It hasn't made a single move at all in Poloniex in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So not super liquid. And maybe the Bitcoin listing was delisted. Let's take a look at FTM USD on Kraken. Ooh, it's just so hard to, this will be great if it comes back down here. So right now it's at $1, right? The way you would buy that is you would buy it at 50 cents or 40 cents, or you would buy it with a break on volume at $1.50. It's in no man's land. It's in no man's land right now. So super hard to buy this stuff, really hard to buy this stuff. The risk to reward is completely skewed. For you to become a participant, your position size is so small because of the amount of risk you take with, you have a potential downside of 55%, 57%, right? So how big is your position when you know that you can lose more than half? It's a very small probe position. And then for us to get, happy with the breakout, we got to rally 50%. It's in no man's land. It's really hard. If you're in it and you're down at a price that's appropriate, right around 40 to 50 cents, awesome. Hold on to that position. There's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't continue to hold this position. But taking an entry right now would be foolhardy and ill-advised. And I don't think that that's a good idea. It's Sonic now. Sonic. I don't know, guys. Do I really want to look at Sonic? Oh, it's previously FTM. Okay. I hate that, by the way. I absolutely hate that. I hate it when chains change chains. Let's take a look. Sonic. Yeah, usually when chains, there's a listing right there. That tells you a lot. So this is very, very typical of when a chain changes blockchains, by the way. I actually really hate it when they do that. And it's not just because, it's a big shakeup in liquidity and it's a big marketing story. You've erased the history. Bitcoin, we can go all the way back to the Genesis block. We have block 1 to block 870, whatever block we're on right now. A blockchain needs to possess all of its history. It just does. A blockchain needs to possess its entire history. And when you change blockchains, you're just saying, don't worry about what happened back there. Like, it's not important. We'll just leave that. And you set a precedent moving forwards. Anytime something's, shaky, you just delete it. And to me, that's not what blockchain's about. Blockchain is a transparent, immutable, global distributed ledger that can be audited at any point. But yeah, certainly nothing noteworthy here. Let's turn the volume on. This will probably continue to trend down. Actually, you need to see a stopping action in the volume. We haven't seen that yet. Let's see if we can find, let's see how Binance is doing. Yeah, no real volume spike. We had a volume spike here, but this was selling volume. This was whales taking profit. This was insiders taking profit. We need to see a big volume spike here. So I'm going to speculate that there's more downside here. That's my current feeling. Again, we're trying to predict the future, so all we have is our feelings. But based off of what I've seen so far, it's a downtrend. It will likely continue. We haven't seen a stopping action in the volume. Because we haven't seen a stopping action in the volume, I'm going to just assume that there's more downside. So, interesting. I think a lot of devs from Sol are going to Sonic. Very easy to find out. I think Sol is killing it on every measurable thing. Everything that you can measure: transaction volume, development activity, throughput, settlements, amounts, coin creation, just everything. Every metric that you could measure. Excuse me. Solana is not ahead of the competition. They are blowing the competition out of the water. So, you think a lot of devs are going from Sol to Sonic. Why would they? What's the incentive there? They're making so much money. There is a mania in the development world on Solana. That's like going to California during the gold rush, where there's just gold coming out of the hills, and then you decide, I'm gonna go to the deserts of Morocco and look for gold. Oh, well, there's no gold over there. I'm still gonna go look. I hear good things. I hear people are going to go over there and check out the sands. I'll believe it when I see it, is what I'm saying there. So don't fall into these narratives, Mauricio. Don't fall into these narratives. So don't trust, verify. If somebody says something, ask them, what's the source? What are you basing this on? Where can you see development activity specifically coming from Solana developers? And you can prove that transition over to Sonic. Anyways, not much to see here, really. Not much, at least just yet. But that's interesting to know that Phantom is no longer a thing, and we now have Sonic. So cool. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. All right, I have been yammering on long enough. I think we will end things there. So before I go, be sure to check out blackbox.pro. We're redoing the website. It's going to look completely different. Don't want you guys to get thrown off or anything. It's going to be dark mode. It's going to look very different. Not only is the website going to look different, but the application, the app for the trading dashboard and the bots is also going to look different. So just giving you a heads up. There's going to be a lot more information on there for you to make trading decisions based off of the historical and recorded performances of the trading bots. So we can't wait to welcome you in there. If you guys want to check out this website, go ahead and scan the QR code that is popping up, right there, and get your free Bitcoin trading bot. Takes no time at all. You can click the join community tab if you wish. Get into the Discord. You will be met with a paywall, not a paywall, a verification wall at the Discord. In order for you to verify in the Discord, you need to create an account with either BitGet or Blowfin. BitGet is offering up to $50,000 in deposit bonuses. Blowfin is offering up to $10,000 in deposit bonuses. So go check those out if you are able to capitalize on those deposit bonuses. And you also get access to the free Discord. So we hope to see you in. It's time for you to get bull run ready, because we are getting so close to the most impressive, spectacular altcoin season that everybody's been waiting for years. Everybody's been telling you has been here for years. We've been saying, no, not yet. But we're getting really close. So it's time to get bull run ready. It's time to get dialed in. It's time to know what you're going to buy, where you're going to buy it, how you're going to trade this market and dominate. So we hope to see you in the Discord. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.